Hey guys, it's Vera Sweeney from Permission to Hustle, and today I'm just going to share a quick little story about a few different experiences that I had, and I had to wait quite a while to be able to tell this story in order to not make it too obvious about who I was speaking about, but this is in regards to people who have online presences and who sort of have a readership, a following, a social media presence, if you will. And, they have the capacity to meet some of those people in real life. I will give you I have several examples, but I'm just going to give you an example that I have had in the music space. So there was somebody that I was absolutely obsessed with in my day. This is several years ago, and she was my favorite musician. I had every single one of her albums. I absolutely adored her to the nth degree. I knew every song. Now, this is not when I was 19. This is when I had 2 children. I was old. I was much older. I was in my 30s, and I loved this woman. I loved everything she put out. She was right up my alley. And she had a concert in New York City, and it was one of her biggest concerts ever to be performed in New York City. We got tickets, my husband and I was able to, because of what I do, I was able to go get an invite into the VIP, backstage area, and I had a chance to actually meet her. I had a chance to meet this woman, and the whole time, I was just I was floating all day because I was going to meet my idol. She was basically my idol, somebody that I really admired. I admired her ability. I admired her singing ability. She brought me so much joy. And it was really such a highlight of my year for this moment. I was waiting for that moment the whole day. I couldn't wait to get to meet this woman. And so, as part of her job, because I can look at both sides of the coin, as a part of her job was to really, be on and to say hello to her fans and to give them a good experience. And that is what she was supposed to do that day. And I was on the other side of the coin. I was the fan. And so it was my turn to meet her, and I went up to her and I said, I'm so happy to meet you. I have all your CDs. I'm really such a fan of your work. And she sort of grunted at me and was like, yeah, thanks. As if to be like, so is everyone else in this room. You're not special. Let's take our picture and move on. And the balloon fell flat. I looked at her. I was so shocked. I couldn't believe that was my reaction with this woman that I have placed on such a pedestal. And it saddened me. It really saddened me. I actually wish that I had never met her. I wish that I had never met this musician, because I loved her. I loved her so much, more than anybody else, for years and years and years. When I was in college, I used to love Fiona Apple. Fiona Apple was a girl that I loved so much in college. I was obsessed with her when I was 17. But, that was when I was younger. Now she was my new sort of like obsession these days. And she really didn't live up to that expectation that I had of her. And I think about that moment often when I do work events and when I am placed in in-person events, conferences, speaking events, when I'm out in the public. We are not musicians, of course, but we represent something to our own self. We represent our brands. And believe me, I do think about that experience every single time I go out to do a function. And again, we're not ever going to get the fanatics that a musician would get. That's not what I'm trying to say here. But when a brand tries to meet you at a work environment after maybe vetting you and really looking forward to meeting you, and then you come in and don't give them your 100%, the balloon will lose its helium and the day will fall flat. And that doesn't go away. That first impression does not go away. We will remember that forever. Every time I hear these woman's songs on the radio, she has had new albums come out since, and I have not purchased them because I cannot feel the same way about her, because it was just the most awkward moment to meet her. And I know you're saying she might have had a bad day. She might have been exhausted after her concert, but this is our jobs. This is what we do. So you have to have a certain level of professionalism in order to maintain, your clientele, future business, et cetera, et cetera. And that was my lesson for the day. My lesson for the day in meeting that woman is I have to make sure I give my best self to every meeting, every person, every comment that comes in. I have to give them my best self, because I never want anybody to feel the way I felt meeting that woman. And it happened again this year to me with an influencer that I absolutely admired, loved everything she did, commented on every Instagram photo that she did, was obsessed with her work, following every single thing she did as she traveled. And I met her and I ran up to her and I said, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe we finally get to meet. I'm Vera Sweeney. We follow each other. We blah, 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 blah." And I gave her the whole spiel. And she goes, "Do you want to take a picture?" Did not care. Had no problem telling me she didn't care. It was all fake. Every comment that was on Instagram, "Oh my God, love you, love the dress, you're so cute, we're so cute, everybody's so cute, la la la," online was fake. Because then when I met her in real life, it was like, "What do you want? Do you want a picture? Because we're not real. So would you like a photo? Because I have to move on." And again, I stood there and I said to myself, wow, that's crazy, because that's not who I am. That's not who I am. I'm most certainly somebody that doesn't respond that way to people. If I'm loving on you online, I'm loving on you, period. And this girl in particular it was just shocking to me. I was really disappointed in that, because I had admired her. I actually admired her. She is a absolute go-getter and a true businesswoman. I mean, she's like a star to me. I was really upset at that. I was like, this girl, I can't believe that just happened. So it was so short and dismissive, and she was above it all. She was above everything that was in front of her. And she drank her own Kool-Aid, and I didn't realize that that's who she was. I thought she was better than that, to be honest with you. And so, this is just sort of that PSA saying we have a responsibility to be professionals every second of every interaction that we do throughout our days. So if you are in the social media game, and if this is what you want to do with your life, and if this is the business that we decide to do, and by the way, this goes way beyond social media. If you're a lawyer, if you're a doctor, if you're a secretary, I don't care what it is that you do. When you are face forward, fronting in front of another person, you put your best foot forward and you present yourself as professionally as you can. And look, we're all entitled to bad days, but the lesson that I've learned with these two women is I have to make it a priority to give people the best experiences possible, because people remember. And when people remember, if there's a job opportunity coming forward, they also will remember their first impression of me. So what do I want to give them? Do I want to give them a negative impression, a neutral impression, or do I want to give them a positive one? And impressions and relationships matter. And if that's not something that we're drilling into your heads every single day in Permission to Hustle, then we're failing you. Because that's how we strive. Like Audrey and I thrive on relationships. That's the crux of our business. A lot of people make money on SEO. A lot of people make money on affiliate marketing. There's so many different ways to earn money these days, but we thrive on relationships. That's how we earn. And that's why these two particular moments are I'm holding on to them so much because I just can't believe that they happened, to be really honest with you, because they were so negative. They were so negative to me. And I just want to make you think a little bit about how you interact with people. If you come across people in your space that may be a follower on Instagram, or a coworker that you only do online meetings with, and then you bump into them at a coffee office, at a coffee shop, whatever the story may be, best foot forward always. And it's something that we should intrinsically know, but I hope that these two instances that I've told you about, you'll marinate in them a little bit, and then it'll make you realize how actually important it is. It really is important to continue to do that. So continue the conversation on the Facebook page, Permission to Hustle. You can find us on Instagram at Permission to Hustle. And thank you so much for listening to our podcast.